Let me go ahead and do a dark screen tarot reading tonight. Okay. I was getting that song earlier by Aaliyah, the If Your Girl Only Knew. Then you wouldn't have to worry, right? So take that as it resonates. I don't know. Maybe you like the music of Aaliyah. Maybe you like that song. Maybe there's something in the song that resonates with your current situation. Okay. Ooh, Scorpio, death card. Right off the bat. There is some kind of weird shift change, I feel, energetically. You know, what was one of those Olympians that they said the other day? He said, expect the unexpected is, what you're supposed to be thinking about, because, kind of at any given moment, things can't change, right? But sometimes for the better, right? And that's what you would hope after receiving a transformative death, okay? So for some of you, this death may be, more symbolic in nature, like saying goodbye to a part of your, your former self, okay? If that makes sense. Oh my gosh, Ace of Wands. Well, yeah, Knight of Cups on the bottom. Maybe you're saying goodbye to a part of you that's ignored the vitality that you have within you, especially in your sacral region. Okay. So, fire signs also Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. The Fool card. The Fool card came out the other day as well. This is giving a way more positive feeling with it, though. Okay. So, I feel like Wheel of Fortune on the bottom, where you're stepping into this Fool-like energy is more like just looking at the possibilities of changing your fortune. Okay. You're not knocking on the same doors anymore, right? You're carving your own path. You're, X, Y, and Z. Okay. All right. 5 of Wands. It's exhausting. It really, 7 of Cups on the bottom. They want you to be exhausted by it. They want, like, okay, what was I just reading about? The latest thing that HR professionals say you have to have, the must-have skills, must be proficient in AI technology. As if it isn't hard enough for some of these folks already to get a job that they've put in hundreds, sometimes thousands of resumes to these alleged, high-paying jobs, and then they're like, oh, just for you to get kicked out by some automatic thing that hasn't even actually read your resume, right? And say, no, that's another hoop, since you don't know AI. It's like, well, obviously your AI is not smart enough yet. You know what I mean? AI is supposed to help the human. The human is not supposed to be helping the AI. It's like some of these folks don't quite. Yeah, I used to work in IT. Anyway, it's a frustrating prospect. King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and now I just got the Empress here. And place this right over the death card, because this could be a case where you've said goodbye to somebody in your past, or you are kind of being reborn as, this grown version. You're no longer the page, you're no longer a queen, you are the empress. Okay. So yeah, it would take something like death to change that, to impact that. That is the type of shift that we're talking about. Okay, these are not things that you just undo. Okay, yeah, Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and you have the Ace of Wands next, so yeah, what do they want? Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. See, way better for you, right? Slow and steady. You might be saying, when Ace of Wands, like, that's more of an impatient, like, let's get this party started, right? But the Knight of Pentacles is like wanting to make sure, I make sure I plant in the right field, right? And we've all seen the results of people planting in the wrong field. What happens? It can be very catastrophic for them. And the rest of us get to thank and count our lucky stars, right? Okay. Now, the Nine of Swords. Over the Fool card here, somebody may want you to feel worried about whatever you're doing, but you have Nine of Wands on the bottom. It's kind of like you didn't come this far for somebody to bully you now. Now it's like a buzzing fly energy. It's just like an annoyance. It's not even whatever, right? So yeah, if you are feeling some anxiety and stuff, also we are shifting the time change will be coming up soon too. Aligning us closer with spring upcoming and all those things, right? So you might have a lot on the brain, but you might want to start keeping a journal by the bed as well. If it's one of those things where you wake up in the middle of the night and you think of things and it's like, yeah, just jot them down real quick and then go back to sleep. You're not going to forget how to read in the middle of the night, right? You know what I mean? So it's, and the next day then you can address it and you can be like, oh my gosh, either, oh yeah, or what? Like, okay, next. You know what I mean? You'll know how to address it. So you don't just let it build, yeah, Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. That's the truth of the matter. Okay, so you might have an understanding that others don't. Six of Wands here, yeah, on this Five of Wands. It's like they want you to be busy, you want to be celebrating. You're telling them, like, we have a difference of opinion here, and in my book we're supposed to do it this way. So, right? Like, sorry about your party foul, but maybe you're gonna have to leave and go start your own party, because you know what I mean. Remember in that movie Some Kind of Wonderful, when they show up to her like ex-boyfriend's like house party or whatever, and then all of like his kind of like friends show up and kind of like help defend them and stuff, and it's kind of giving that kind of energy, like, because so often we see things going the other way, and that's part of this shift. That's why it's almost feeling like whiplash. So it's like, where do I look next? Can somebody tell me? Right? And like the Hierophant here on the bottom of the deck, then that's when you have to, like, rely on Old Faithful, right? Okay, so if for you it's celebrating life and staying or sitting on business, and maybe addressing your worries and not just projecting them onto everybody else, right? Like so many of these karmics want us to do. They want us to have their problem be our problem, like, constantly. And it's like, okay. It's like, surely you've had to, like, tie your shoes before or something. Anyway, yeah, the Hierophant, it's that kind of thing where it's just like, I don't think it's a matter of, I think it's just a matter of skill level. You know what I mean? And if that person's lacking those skills, they can go learn it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of basic things that most everybody can do. You know what I mean? Or some kind of variation within reason, right? So, you know, sometimes it's a willingness. And yeah, here's that nine of wands again. Yeah, it's like beating that drum saying, I'm not giving up just because I have this bandage on my head. Kind of thing. So, all right. Let's move on to the pocket size deck here that has some of the animals and stuff on it. Okay. And we are approaching a new moon also, so that might be affecting the energy as well. And like, this is Aquarius season, and a lot of people don't think the new year really starts until like Aquarius hits, and it's like a new calendar year and stuff like that. So if you're feeling that, might be partly why, okay? Because as the collective moves through these phases, right? We start to recognize where we are, okay? Um, it's, oh, it's not this time, it's actually that time. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. Or, wow, that day went fast. I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? There was just a frog on the bottom of the deck, so, especially for the Valentine's Day hopefuls out there, yeah, you might have to kiss some frogs, right? Or you're hoping that this one isn't a frog. Yeah. The wolf card here. Yeah. So you might have found yourself a wolf instead of a frog. Are you okay with that? You ever see that movie, Teen Wolf, right? Okay. Black egg. And this has like the etching in it here. Right on top of the Knight of Pentacles. So but Ace of Wands underneath. So it's like the creativity's here, but it's gonna take a long time to get this whole egg done. You can't just rush through that. Sitting there doing that scroll. I mean, sure, once you get good at it, right, it might take not too long, but okay. And then you have the risk of breaking it, right? And then you might have to start all over. And what an annoyance that would be. But if you're the Knight of Pentacles, you understand sometimes that happens, right? So that might be part of this stress thing, of realizing, yeah, rabbit here, of thinking like, oh, there's going to be so many distractions and things that are going to, keep me from really achieving. But some of that stuff, yeah, at the end of the day, it kind of zips itself out, okay? Owl, yeah, wisdom to know the difference, right? So the Six of Wands here, it's like with the Five of Wands, you might not have been wise enough yet to realize that you being pulled in all these directions wasn't honoring yourself, right? Whereas in the Six of Wands, you are taking control of the celebration. Therefore, you are showing people what you want them to realize, about the situation, about the way you handle things, okay, about your approach, or about how you might want to be not in the mix, because an owl is maybe, is the, the nocturnal animal as well. It's also often solitary. Things of that nature, much like the wolf. Okay, so this rabbit energy here with the Nine of Swords and all that. Oh, well, I saw so and so here, and who was there, and they did that, and and I'm not saying that, life goes on. Everyone has their, things that they're going to be out and doing, but um, is that your priority to know, right? And that's that rabbit energy, and it's like, oh, psh, silly me, that was just a rabbit, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, are you still winning? Then, it's kind of like going back to that Empress and realizing, you are the wise one. So, I'll take a little picture of this and post it, since I did not do picture video tonight anyway, for tonight's reading anyway. So also I thought part of why I wanted to do this reading, you guys, because it is also Friday the 13th. Wow, and the fireplace just went out right now. That's crazy. Since it's Friday the 13th, we have another Friday the 13th next month. Okay, and then there is also one in November. Okay. So it says though that 3 is supposed to be the max number of Friday the 13th for any given year. Anyway. So, very interesting reading. Alrighty then. Please do give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this reading. Of course, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video. Okay. Until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.